Hello, I'm BJ Penn, and I would like to add my greetings and welcome you to this fantastic event. It's hard to believe NNOA is celebrating its golden anniversary, 50 fantastic years. I would imagine NNOA is older than many of our attendees that are at the conference today. What a great organization. We've withstood the test of time. NNOA is good for the Navy, the Marine Corps, and the Coast Guard, and the Department of Defense. Initially, I looked at the organization as providing survival training because we didn't have a lot of mentors that looked like us. The professional development, the educational training, warfare and civilian community interaction, and this year some historical information from the trailblazers will definitely make you more competitive. So make this a week of learning. I mentioned trailblazers. Many of them are not here. Ask us old-timers about them. Guys like Bill Norman, Gordon Fisher, Norm Johnson, and Gordon is here. Norm Johnson, Byron Wiley, Bob Toney, Eddie Benford, Charlie Tompkins, Pete Tomes, Ed Gilchrist, Edith Haynes, Ed Seacrest, Otis Brooks, Carlos Campbell, Judge Fauntleroy, Emery Emerson, Claude Williams, Emmanuel King. So many superstars that made a difference and whose names I just didn't have time to read. Under the leadership of Admiral Harris, I know the NNOA will continue to flourish, grow, and fulfill its commitment of recruiting, professional development, and retention. Recommend you dream big, you stay safe, you enjoy. God bless.
Hello, I'm Admiral Paul Reason, and I offer greetings to the National Naval Officers Association at the 2022 Symposium for the culmination of 50 years of focused and dedicated service to our Navy. 50 years ago, I was at sea. I was an electrical officer on USS Enterprise, our nation's first nuclear-powered aircraft carrier. That wardroom numbered 400 officers from both ship's company and the air wing. The crew was over 6,000 sailors, and I was the only black officer, and there was no female officer. Those days are no more, due in significant measure to the tireless efforts and involvement by NNOA. As the Navy's first African-American four-star admiral, trust me when I say congratulations are in order to NNOA for 50 years of service to our nation. Thank you.
Well, good evening. I'm sorry I can't be with you tonight. The 50th anniversary of NNOA is a huge deal, and I wanted to say thanks to Sink Harris, Tom Abernathy, and so many others that I've known, actually many of whom I've known since they were junior officers, and have been, in this space and advocating for the kind of efforts that have really made a difference for a long, long time. So to Sink and your team, thanks for all you've done. I know you focused incredibly hard over the years on recruiting and retention and career development, all of which, quite frankly, goes together. In fact, I think if you get the retention piece and the career development piece right, recruiting should take care of itself, although efforts always need to continue there as well. And it's been a matter of great personal pride from my perspective to be involved as a leader in some of these activities. I've been around for more than these 50 years, and while we certainly made a ton of progress, there are still miles to go. I don't have to I don't have to spend a lot of time on what's happened in our country in the last few years, certainly since George Floyd in 2020. And one of the messages is, while we've done a lot, we've still got an awful lot to do. And so your continued leadership here and the wisdom, the knowledge, the engagement, the time, it's hard to know when you invest like this what the long-term impact's going to be, but it has been extraordinary, and I think it will continue to be extraordinary. One of the principles that guides my life is you have to give to get, and when I've been fortunate enough to be able to give, I've always gotten back a great deal more. So so you should enjoy this celebration, its successes, its challenges, its results. And a lot of the results are sitting in the room and should be celebrated. But once we've done that, there's an awful lot of work to do down the road. And it's up and down the chain of command. And it's throughout our services and, quite frankly, throughout our country. And the example that you set in that regard and the care and love of our country and service to our country is a really important message. Always, but particularly at this particular time as we're struggling as a country in many, many ways. So again, thanks. I'm sorry I can't be with you. I know you'll have a great time. It's a really critical mission, and I know that you will keep it up. And I look forward to continuing to participate as I can help as we move down the road together to face the challenges that are so important for our services and for our country. Thanks to all of you. God bless our sea services, and God bless each and every one of you, and God bless the United States of America.
First thing I'd like to say is a happy birthday to the National Naval Officers Association. Most affectionately for us, it's called NNOA. And talk about how I fit into the main goals of NNOA from its inception, and that is of recruiting, retaining, and career development for African Americans and minorities within the naval services, meaning the Coast Guard, the Navy, and the Marine Corps. It is especially important to me because it was through NNOA that I found my way of how to exist in an organization was historically conservative and very few minorities. In particular, the Marine Corps was the last of the military organizations to integrate, where we saw the Moffett Point Marines in their struggle titled Fight for the Right to Fight. So when I joined the Marine Corps, there was a very few of the pioneers that provided a way of how to integrate into an organization from a warfighting perspective and understand how this diversification, the inclusion, would occur. There were very few of senior African Americans. Frankly, there were no African American admirals or generals in the Marine Corps when I joined. Hence, it was the pooling of those that recruited to be the integration of the military that I was a part of. And in our first years of the early 70s, I discovered the National Naval Officers Association. So for a few minutes, I'd like just to put in perspective what that really meant for recruiting. I was a part of the recruiting that started at the Naval Academy and expanded out to the Naval ROTC units and throughout the recruiting apparatus of the Marine Corps. It was discovery for me was, why do I stay? Why I came to this organization highly recruited to diversify it, but it was very, very conservative and lack of understanding of me as an African American in the Marine Corps, and to take from that my career development. Well, what happened is I learned 4 major things from NNOA, and that's where I arrived the end point of being Lieutenant General, United States Marine Corps, from that brand new second lieutenant that joined in 1975. It talked to me about character, what diversity really meant in the integration of the services, professional competence, and hard work, and understanding how I contributed to not just the integration, but the professional readiness of those naval services. So happy birthday to you and all of those who are part of this great celebration of an organization that made it possible to understand what the mission was. Again, I look forward to seeing you at the conference and the symposium and discussing these issues further. Thank you.
Congratulations to NNOA on a long and storied journey from an idea that has grown not only in numbers and influence, but into a tangible service-wide impact. Today, NNOA represents 50 years of excellence that has had and continues to have a profound impact on the recruiting, retention, and professional development of minority officers and countless others throughout the sea services. Many NNOA members, through their local chapters and through personal outreach, have engaged in meeting and sharing information with individuals interested in military service opportunities. These structured and impromptu engagements effectively extends the capacity and capability of traditional recruiting into non-traditional recruiting settings and venues, where many more minorities now have access to valuable Navy, Marine Corps, and Coast Guard information. As an NNOA member, each of you is a full-time walking recruiting poster. Clearly, recruiting and retention are directly linked. Chief among the reasons people stay in the service are a sense of belonging, shared values, mutual respect, and importantly, that their voices are heard, valued, and acted on. Over the past 50 years, NNOA has grown from a grassroots idea into a valued partner with a voice and a formal seat at the decision-making table at the highest levels of the sea services. I'm a proud product of NNOA professional development, attending my first meeting in the 70s. It was there I experienced firsthand the very personal mentoring centered on professional development, guidance, and support from subject matter experts who had walked the paths I had yet to traverse. As standard bearers of the profession, they held me accountable. Finally, I'm inspired and awed by the generation of tomorrow's leaders who are in the audience and those yet to join. They will chart the critically important course for NNOA's next 50 years. I challenge those shapers of tomorrow to continue to find and recruit America's best, to retain and challenge them to excel, and to mold and develop them into the professional leaders of tomorrow, as NNOA has done for the past 50 years.
Greetings and congratulations to NNOA on your 50th anniversary. You know, it's hard to believe that it's been over 10 years since I retired as the Chief of Naval Operations, and for those who served with me, know the priority that I placed on diversity, particularly diversity among our officer corps. You know, the question is often asked, is there a need to continue to push for diversity? Absolutely, because there is a need for diversity among the leaders of our Navy, our sea services, and our military more broadly. Because I really do believe, as I said many years ago and continue to believe today, that the leadership of our military must reflect the face of our nation. And the service that NNOA provides, has provided, and will provide is absolutely key. Because NNOA provides the steady hand on the tiller, the keel, the mentoring that is so important, the outreach that makes young people aware of the opportunities and the fulfillment that's available by serving in the Navy. And that's what NNOA does so well. You know, I think that those who are coming along, who are leading today, are facing a much more challenging time than I. And it's going to be an even more challenging future for you. You're going to be confronted with geopolitical challenges, economic challenges, social challenges, and challenges of technology that are really mind-boggling. And that's where NNOA is so important. Not only in mentoring, but in recruiting and reaching down deep into the youth of our nation to make them aware of the opportunities that exist. NNOA has done a magnificent job for 50 years. And I know that as you gather and celebrate your achievements and the camaraderie that comes from being part of this wonderful organization, that you'll chart a course for the next 50 years that will make our Navy, our sea services, and our nation even stronger. So again, shipmates, congratulations, well done, and all the best in all that is ahead. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Major General Brian Cavanaugh, Commanding General, 1st Marine Aircraft Wing here in Okinawa, Japan. Just wanted to welcome you all to the National Naval Officers Association Symposium. I wish I could be with you, but I know Rear Admiral Sink Harris has a wonderful program set for you. I know 50 years ago that the founders of the organization probably weren't thinking about where this organization would be 50 years later. 50 years ago, our nation, our sea services was here in the Pacific. And if you look at our national defense strategy today, it's focused on the Pacific. So as you're all in the program there, forging into the future, I want you to think about where will we be in the next 50 years. Again, I look forward to getting some feedback from your time there. Have a great time at the symposium. Happy 50th and Super Fidelis.
Morning, shipmates. I'm Admiral Charlie Ray, U.S. Coast Guard retired, former Vice Commandant of the service. I want to congratulate NNOA on 50 years of incredible service. Sorry I can't be there with you today because I really believe in NNOA, and I don't think anybody's done more than the past and present members of NNOA to recruit, retain, and more importantly, mentor young leaders in our services. I'm very thankful for all that NNOA has done, and I'm convinced that we are more diverse, more inclusive, and ultimately more effective in providing for the safety and security of our nation as a result of the work of NNOA. So congratulations on a big birthday, 50 years of incredible service. Wish I could be there with you. God bless you all. Semper Paratus.